So Tim Walz, first of all, he is, as we were saying early in this show, he is the vice presidential nominee and he is the running mate in the formula with Harris. He is also representing a more traditional way. He is, the head of his family. He has his 2 children conceived using in vitro. So he is also an advocacy for the reproductive rights, not only of the women in terms of abortion, but also in terms of the families and the possibilities for families, for American families to conceive. Also, I want to stress this because now it comes an element that could be dual. Because first of all, Minnesota was the state that saw the sadly and terribly the killing of George Floyd back in May, the 25th of May of 2020. And we saw the other face of a country that was stuck in a pandemic. We saw the racism and the police brutality broadcast firsthand. We saw it on a screen. We saw the protests that erupted there. And that started the protest nationwide because we saw it went coast to coast in the US, the protest for the George Floyd killing. And that took the votes from Trump. So that's one thing, okay, on that matter. But there's also something that is waging now on Tim Walz because he was the governor back then in that moment. And he was late, in taking action regarding this case, in taking action in the protest matter, in the issue of police brutality, in taking, maybe action and being proactive in terms of justice. And that is waging on him, and it's dangerous for Kamala Harris because she is presenting herself as a black woman that is running for the president of the United States. So there is this dual element that him being the one carrying this weight on his shoulders, okay, and now presenting himself as the almost progressive white elite politician that accompanies a black woman. So, Danny, can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I mean, I never heard Kamala Harris even mention the issue of policing and racial profiling and police brutality. The George Floyd torture and police murder sparked an uprising across the United States, and estimated, I think it was 16 million Americans participated in different protests after watching that heinous 9-minute traumatizing video sucking the life out of this human being. And despite the demonization of George Floyd that came from Fox News and the like, no human being deserves to be treated in this type of cruel manner. I think your points about Tim Walz really add up. He's another individual who really played into this liberal, hollow, vacuous identity politics agenda. All types of talk and rhetoric with very little to show for. So that's the team that they try to put out there. So far, according to what we're seeing, the American people are not really buying it. But again, it's too early right now to know how it'll play out. What we did see with Tim Walz and J.D. Vance in the vice presidential debate, because Trump is such a vitriolic, quote-unquote, controversial individual and really gets off on an anti-politics, insulting the Democrats, which a lot of people love to hear. I can't help but chuckle myself when we heard the vice presidential debate. Both VP candidates were very sure to be as civil as possible. They wished each other's families well. J.D. Vance expressed a type of human sympathy because Tim Walz's family had gone through this and that. So they were really trying to tone down the rhetoric because at the end of the day, the U.S. ruling class needs unity. If there is too much strife, like they do benefit from all the algorithms based on strife, they do want to pump it up to a certain point. But after Trump was nearly assassinated back in June, look how quick Biden was to publicly call him